Hi, this is Matthew with Marble Gems. Today I'm over at my brother's shop and we're going to be using the big rock saw to cut up a couple of stones. Now these stones are really special stones I got from a fellow that contacted me. His name is Charles Szczepanski from back in Delaware, and he's going to be making a very special pieces that have spiritual meaning to him and the tribe that he belongs to. These stones are very special, they're very rare. He went to a lot of effort to get just the right stones for me. So let me show you the stones that we're going to be cutting up. From what I understand, they're stones that are not necessarily native to his region, but may have been imported by Native Americans a long time ago from areas from not near Delaware, but near from somewhere in the Yukon Territory, what would be known as the Yukon Territory. And it's a type of serpentine stone that has very special meaning to the native people of the Delaware tribe. And so I got this great big huge piece, and you can see it's got, if you can get a close up of that, you can see the green in there, but it's going to make some interesting marbles. So we're going to cut up that big piece, and then he sent me this one piece right here. It's another very special piece, and we're going to be making a marble. We're going to cut this up and we're going to be making some marbles out of this area here where it's very green. So it nearly looks like jadeite to me, but from what I understand it's like a type of serpentine. But we're going to be making 4 marbles out of it. They're going to be from 3/4 of an inch up to 7/8 of an inch out of this. But we got to cut it up first, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to cut up these really nice stones. But you can just see, get a close-up of this, just how beautiful these stones are. And this is what it looks like on the outside, which is what this one looks a lot like. You can see it's very similar, but when you cut into it, it's just really beautiful. One of the things we're going to do is we're going to cut a really thin slice that we can put up to the light to see how translucent it is. So let's get started. All right, to get this stone mounted, what I'm going to do is it's already been cut a couple times. And what I want to do is we want to get marbles from this particular region right here of the stone. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount it like this, so that this side right here is up next to the blade, and I'll move it over, and I'll try to get this as flat as possible against the blade, and then I'll move it over about 7/8 of an inch, or about an inch, so that we can get some nearly 1 inch thick pieces off of this. And we're going to try to get 3 slices, and then what's left over I can use the trim saw to trim some little pieces for marbles on that. So let's get this mounted up. I really like this old clamp system here. Clamping it up is you can clamp really big things here, and it just has 1/2 inch plywood that's been screwed to that. And let's see, we need to get this on there a little bit deeper. We may not be able to get that cut the way we want it to be. We may have to, you know what, I might do it this way so I can see what I'm cutting. Yeah, we're not going to be able to get it really super close there, but okay, so I'm going to get that tightened down some, and then I'm going to crank this in, and I'm going to move it over there next to that saw blade. A little bit more. So see how I've lined that up? That way I know I can get the most out of it I can. So I'm really going to clamp down on this. Clamp. grab a hold of that stone. You don't ever want it to come loose. And then, okay, so I got the stone all set up. Each one of these turns on this, on the thread here is a 1/16 of an inch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and move it over 16 turns plus a little bit more for the cut. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 16. So 17 turns, and that will give me a nice cut. So what I want to do is I don't want to start it right up against the blade. I want to start it close to the blade, make sure everything's good, and we'll get it started. So on this old saw I've got 3 switches. One is the master switch and the other is to advance it. So it's going to take about 30 minutes for this to finish cutting. It goes very slow and it only advances a little bit at a time what it can take. So I'm going to do something else, but we're going to try to get 2 or 3 pieces cut on this big one and get a really thin slice to see how translucent it is, maybe about a 1/16 or an 1/8 of an inch thick. Just to take a look at it to see what it looks like. So we'll come back in a minute, see how it's doing, take a look at that slice when it's done. Alright, it just finished cutting, so I'm going to turn it off and we'll take a look at it. I'm going to put my gloves on and we'll take a look at what we got. Okay, let's take a look at what we got here. The piece fell down right there on the cut. Beautiful green material. Wow. That's gorgeous. So right from there I can see I can get some really nice marbles that won't have any bad fractures in them. This is awesome. Look at that side. That's the side we wanted. That we right there on that upper right hand corner. And turning it over there should be a good piece there, but there's also right here, there's a really good piece right through there. Yeah, this is going to be awesome. We'll be able to get some fabulous marbles out of here. They'll be gorgeous. Okay, I'm going to set this aside. And I'm going to go ahead and reset this for another about 7/8 of an inch. A little bit thinner. I don't need it quite that thick. And then we'll cut one more little thin piece off of there just for fun. So I'm going to go ahead and reset that. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and reset it. This time I'm not going to do 16 turns. I'm going to do, well, last time I did 17 turns, and that's pretty thick. I don't need it quite that thick. And maybe I'll do another thick piece. Let's keep going here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 14 turns is 7/8, and I'm going to do one more turn right there. I'm going to do one more turn. Okay. There we go. Okay, I'll put it in close to the blade, not quite touching. This actually cut pretty quick. I thought it'd take more than 30 minutes, but it only took about 15. So let's get this one started. Okay, the second piece is finished cutting. We'll take a look at that, and then we're going to cut a real thin piece, and then we're going to mount that big chunk in there. Here, open it up. All right, let's take a look. Ooh. Reaching here past all the drips. Wow, that's absolutely gorgeous. Okay, what we're going to do now is Charles wanted me to cut a real thin slice so that we could look through it, and so I'm going to try cutting just like an 1/8 inch slice so we can look at it through the light and see what kind of things are inside there. But there's going to be some really nice marble through here. Super gorgeous. Okay, I'm going to let that kind of drip off a little bit right there. Reset this. And we're just going to do 3 cranks on it. 1 crank to get it past the blade thickness, and 2 cranks for a 1/8 of an inch. So 1, 2, 3. Let's see if that's going to be enough. I think we'll do 1 more crank. That'll give us a really thin piece. Oh, we're getting grease on there. That's okay. You can come right over here if you want to take a look at it over here. Here. So we're gonna hold it back. Hold it back from that. Oh yeah, over there. So we're gonna get a really thin piece there. It'll be very translucent. Once we finish cutting that, we're gonna mount the big piece in there, because I can't, with this right here, even though it's a pretty big chunk, I can't mount this, get any more cuts for marbles on that. I'd have to flip it, which I will do, and cut it a different direction. And then what I can't cut on here, I'll take home and put on my trim saw, and I can cut small pieces with the trim saw. So we're gonna get that thin slice for Charles. All right, let her rip. Let's get that piece out so it doesn't grain. Okay, we finished cutting that really thin slice. Let's open it up and take a look. So it cut it beautifully. You wipe some of the oil off of here, and I'm going to hold it up to the light. Can you see through it? Let's take a look. I can't see it from your side, but let's take a look here. Wow, look at that. From an angle where it's not directly in there. That is really beautiful stuff. This is going to make a fabulous marble. Charles is going to love that. That's just really thin stuff. I'm going to have to be really careful with this piece and send it to him so he has a piece of it. So I'm going to take this this piece out of it, because I can't cut any more on it until I reposition it. But before we cut on this one, I'm going to get that big one positioned, and we're going to cut it up. All right, so let's take this one out. That's how much is left of that. And what I can do is I can actually take this home, and on my little trim saw I can put that down there, and I can cut this up really easy. I don't even know if I'm going to put it in the big saw to finish cutting it up. But the trick is getting this big monster piece mounted in there to cut up. And I've been looking at it, trying to figure out exactly how I want to cut this up. I'm not sure if I want to tackle cutting off this big face here. And it's kind of shaped weird. It's going to be kind of hard to clamp in there. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to clamp it in there like this, and start on this narrow side and take off a big chunk. And then cut a big slice out of it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set it in there. I'm going to mount it in there like that, so this big thick piece is over to the side. And I'm going to cut off a big slice right there, and then I'm going to cut off a marble thickness right there. But we won't be able to do that today because we're running out of time. So I'll get it started and cut off a slice, and then come back on another day and finish cutting it up. locked in there. Let me lock this thing down good. We don't want that big rock wiggling in there at all. Okay, and then to move it over, move it over a little bit more. Okay, I'll get up there positioned close, but not too close. Back it off a little bit, and we're going to get it started. Okay, so we're going to finish cutting up that big rock on another day. I just wanted to show you how beautiful this stone is. It's just absolutely gorgeous, and like this section right here is going to make at least a couple really beautiful marbles with very little to no flaws in it at all. So thanks for joining me tonight. If you have any questions or comments, put them below, and I'll try to provide some more information about this commission that I'm doing for Charles Szczepanski, and it's a very spiritual stone to them. It has a lot of significant meaning. It's going to go into a piece that is very significant to them. So over the next few weeks I'll be making marbles out of this, and I'll show you the whole process. Alright, thanks, and have a good day.